What if I told you that Bewitched almost had a completely different leading lady, and Samantha wasn't even supposed to be called Samantha? Or that the very first rehearsal for the show happened on one of the darkest days in American history? For 8 seasons, millions tuned in to watch Elizabeth Montgomery twitch her nose and work her magic. But behind the suburban charm lurked secrets, scandals, and tragedies that never made it onto the screen. From hidden pregnancies and a magical twitch that wasn't quite what it seemed, to a leading man brought down by a devastating accident, these are the strange, untold stories of Bewitched.
But I'm crazy about banana cream.
Oh, well, aren't you lucky? It isn't apple at all.
Fact 1. The show almost had a different star and name before Elizabeth Montgomery ever twitched her nose. Bewitched was headed in a very different direction. The show's creator, Saul Sachs, originally envisioned Broadway star Tammy Grimes in the lead role. Not only that, the character wasn't even called Samantha. Her name was going to be Cassandra. Grimes had already won acclaim for her stage work, and Sachs thought her elf-like look would be perfect for a magical suburban housewife. Network executives agreed, and for a brief moment it seemed certain that Grimes would become television's most famous witch. But Grimes had questions that went far deeper than casting. Why, she asked, would a woman with such incredible powers waste her life doing chores, babysitting, and living in the suburbs? Why not cure diseases or end wars? To her, the premise felt shallow and even a little insulting. Uncomfortable with the role, Grimes walked away, turning down what would become one of TV's most iconic characters.
Let's see if I can put the window back together.
When Elizabeth Montgomery stepped in, she insisted the name Cassandra be changed, since it carried dark, cursed associations from Greek mythology. She chose the lighter, friendlier name, Samantha. And with that single choice, television history was rewritten.
That did it. I'm calling it up.
Fact 2. Rehearsals began on JFK's assassination day.
President Kennedy has been assassinated. It's official now. The president is dead.
On November 22, 1963, the cast and crew of Bewitched were supposed to begin rehearsals for the pilot episode. For everyone involved, it should have been an exciting day filled with promise. The birth of a new show. Instead, it became one of the darkest days in American history. The day President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Elizabeth Montgomery and her husband, producer-director William Asher, weren't just casual admirers of Kennedy. They knew him personally. Asher had even produced the president's now legendary 1962 birthday gala at Madison Square Garden, where Marilyn Monroe sang her unforgettable, breathy rendition of "Happy Birthday, Mr. President."
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
That connection made the tragedy hit even harder. The shocking news cast a heavy shadow over the young production. Instead of rehearsing, the cast and crew mourned alongside the rest of the country. For Montgomery and Asher, who considered Kennedy a friend, the grief was personal as well as national. Though rehearsals were delayed, the show pressed on. Less than a year later, on September 17, 1964, Bewitched premiered. But the series would always carry the strange legacy of having its very first day tied to one of America's greatest tragedies. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about Bewitched, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, what's so important?
I'm gonna have a baby.
Good. You're what?
I'm gonna have a baby.
Fact 3. Elizabeth Montgomery's secret pregnancies. Elizabeth Montgomery may have been a magical TV housewife, but behind the scenes, she was also a real-life mother, 3 times during the show's run. What makes this fact so fascinating is how carefully the production team managed her pregnancies, sometimes hiding them completely and other times weaving them directly into the storyline. During the very first season, Montgomery was pregnant with her son, William, but producers decided not to acknowledge it on screen. Instead, the costume department worked overtime, dressing her in loose-fitting outfits, flowing gowns, and carefully chosen camera angles that concealed her growing belly. Millions of viewers never suspected a thing. By the second pregnancy, the writers changed course. Rather than hide the bump, they embraced it. That storyline became the birth of Samantha and Darren's magical daughter, Tabitha, a character who would become central to the series. And when Montgomery became pregnant for a 3rd time, the writers once again incorporated it, this time bringing baby Adam into the Stevens household. Remarkably, Montgomery never took a significant break during any of these pregnancies. She continued filming week after week, balancing motherhood and superstardom with a professionalism that left both the crew and the audience spellbound. Fact 4. The famous nose twitch was movie magic. If there's one thing everyone remembers from Bewitched, it's Samantha's magical nose twitch. With just a wiggle, problems disappeared, spells were cast, and suburban chaos was restored to order. But here's the truth. That twitch wasn't entirely what it seemed. Elizabeth Montgomery actually had a small natural habit of twitching her upper lip and nose when she was nervous or frustrated. Her husband, William Asher, spotted it one night at home when she spilled a drink and absent-mindedly made the motion. To him, it was perfect, a simple, unique gesture that could become Samantha's magical signature. There was just one problem. Montgomery couldn't always pull it off consistently on cue, so the production team stepped in with clever editing and film tricks.
Cheers. On the first card?
Enhancing her natural movement to make it more pronounced and magical. The result was genius. While other shows relied on flashy special effects, Bewitched found its magic in one subtle human gesture. The twitch became so iconic that even people who never watched the series know exactly what it means. Samantha Stevens is about to change the world with a wiggle of her nose.
Fight with it.
I've had enough of this silly farce. Now, what is it you intend to do?
I intend to close your jaw.
You and who else?
Darren, no.
Fact 5. Dick York's departure came from a tragic accident. Fans were shocked when the original Darren, played by Dick York, suddenly disappeared after 5 seasons of Bewitched. Many assumed it was due to creative disputes or contract drama. The truth, however, was much more heartbreaking, and it began years before the show even existed. In 1959, York was filming the movie They Came to Cordura with Gary Cooper and Rita Hayworth. During one scene, he was asked to lift what he believed would be a light prop. Instead, he unexpectedly shouldered the full 180-pound weight of a fellow actor lying on the truck bed. The result was catastrophic. The muscles along the right side of his back tore completely. York later described the sensation as his muscles simply snapping and letting loose. For years afterward, he lived with severe chronic pain. On the Bewitched set, he required a special board in his dressing room so he could lie flat between scenes, and crew members often helped him with basic physical tasks. To keep working, he relied heavily on painkillers and muscle relaxants, which only worsened his condition over time. By 1968, his health had collapsed.
Thank you from the bottom of my withers.
During the filming of Daddy Does His Thing, York fainted on set and had to be rushed to the hospital. From his hospital bed, he and William Asher agreed he could no longer continue. His exit wasn't planned. It was forced by years of pain from one tragic split-second accident.
Every young girl needs love and romance. There's one thing she doesn't need.
Mother.
Fact 6. Agnes Moorehead, initially rejected the role of Endora. It's hard to imagine Bewitched without Agnes Moorehead's unforgettable performance as Endora, the glamorous, sharp-tongued witch who constantly clashed with Darren. But believe it or not, Moorehead almost turned the role down. By the early 1960s, she was already a respected actress with a distinguished career in film, radio, and theater. To her, a sitcom about suburban witches sounded like lightweight material, far beneath her talents. She declined the offer. Then, fate stepped in. While shopping at Bloomingdale's, Moorehead ran into Elizabeth Montgomery. Montgomery personally asked her to reconsider. That direct appeal worked.
Who is the prettiest little lady in the whole wide world?
Moorehead agreed to play Endora, though she assumed the show would flop in a single season. Instead, she became one of TV's most iconic mothers-in-law. Fact 7. Hanna-Barbera created the animated opening. Before each episode began, viewers were greeted by that unforgettable animated sequence, Samantha flying across the sky on her broomstick before transforming into the perfect suburban housewife. But those iconic credits weren't made by the Bewitched team at all. They were created by Hanna-Barbera, the same studio behind the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and Scooby-Doo. Animator Ed Benedict designed the sequence, capturing the entire premise of the show in just a few seconds. The animation became so popular that Samantha and Darren even made a cameo in the Flintstones, voiced by Elizabeth Montgomery and Dick York themselves. And that's just the beginning. From real alcohol being used on set, to one actor secretly breaking TV ground as one of the first queer-coded characters in primetime, the weirdest secrets of Bewitched are still to come. So make sure you don't miss Part 2, where we reveal the scandals, Emmy wins, and even the shocking truth about how many cast members survived to the show's 50th anniversary. If you enjoyed this dive into TV history, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment with your favorite Bewitched memory. Your support helps keep this channel and these classic stories alive.